Okay, so this is Nothing Phone 1, which I have used as my primary phone since the day Android 13 stable build was released. There were a lot of expectations when this device was launched, but unlike other mid-range smartphones, we did not receive any useful feature on this device. We'll talk about everything in this video, what are good sides of Android 13 and what Nothing still needs to add on Nothing Phone 1. And on a serious note, I don't use this device as my primary phone unless there is some testing required, because there are a lot of features missing on this device and which are not being added with Android 13 also. So let's discuss everything about Nothing Phone 1 after updating to Android 13 stable build. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. First, let me show you the software information. If you go to About section, here you can see under software info it says Nothing OS 1.5.3, and here device already received the second stable hotfix update for Nothing Phone 1 after this stable Android 13 was released. And you can see device is running on 5th Feb 2023 security patch. First, let's talk about some of the good things which Nothing have introduced with Android 13. First one is a very small add-on but a good one, and that's related to animation. A lot of improvements can be seen in the screen on or off animations. Also, you can see the animation effect when you double tap to wake the device or you double tap to lock the device. Animation starts and ends from the particular place where you tap on the screen. Along with that, fingerprint unlock animations are also a lot improved with Android 13. With no doubt, Nothing have done a lot of improvements with their regular software update, but they do lack at some points. If we talk when Nothing Phone 1 was launched, that time a lot of jitters and slow animations were to be seen, but gradually they did improve a lot of things like app opening speed, which is too fast now, and it doesn't make you feel that you're not using a flagship device. You get the same flagship experience when it comes to app opening speed. And Nothing have already been claiming that they have improved the app opening speed by 50%, and that's true. I won't even say it's 50%, it's way more than that. And they also claims they reduce the app restart time by over 35%. Now I do notice after Android 13, app stays in the background, or you can say in the memory, for longer time compared to Android 12. I mean the applications which I frequently use. So better background management on Android 13. With Android 13, due to the lower power consumption, now overall battery improvements can also be seen, and device doesn't even get warmed up in general. On an average, I do get around 5 to 6 hours of screen on time, which is pretty good with my usage pattern. Battery backup depends on tons of factors. Some users claim that they don't get good battery backup after Android 13, but as always, battery backup is subjective and it depends on tons of factors. So every individual will have a different battery backup on their particular unit. And from day one, my device exactly takes 55 to 60 minutes to fully charge from 0 to 100%. In between, there was an issue wherein my device used to take around 1 hour 15 to 16 minutes to completely charge, but that was on Android 12. With Android 13, I haven't got any kind of issues. The charging time varies between 55 minutes to 60 minutes. And another thing which I love about Nothing Phone 1, that it can run almost every application which is required to run in 120 Hz. So for example, applications like Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all these applications do runs in 120 Hz. And a lot of flagship devices do not give you the experience of 120 Hz in apps like YouTube, but here Nothing can run that application in 120 Hz. And now talking about some of the add-ons which Nothing bought with Android 13 on Nothing Phone 1. And my favorite one is the custom glyph ringtones. We already had glyph ringtones present on Android 12, but with Android 13 they have added a new set of custom glyph ringtones. And the animation of glyph light is also improved a lot. Here you can listen to them yourself. Two additional apps have been added on Android 13. One is Nothing X for Nothing earphone, and the second one is weather application. Might be useful for some people, but personally not for me, because I feel instead of adding Nothing X application, they should add all these settings in the Bluetooth section itself. instead of providing an additional application. And for weather also, I don't feel it was required, because we can just tap on at glance to see the weather whenever it is required. With Android 13 now you can also customize the lock screen shortcuts, where you can choose between Google Wallet, device control, torch, camera, though Google Wallet is not available in India, so you can't use that option right now on the lock screen shortcuts. If we talk about the benchmark thing, so benchmarks are good enough on Nothing Phone 1. You can see single core scores above 1000 and multi-core scores are always above 2500. And according to me, these are decent compared to hardware on Nothing Phone 1. Also, if you talk about the throttling issues, I did test out multiple times. So I've been getting on an average 72% CPU throttling, and average GIFs are always about 2 lakh. And now talking about the gaming part, so I don't do much of gaming on my Nothing Phone 1, as the hardware is not that capable, because if I start playing game, I play for 4-5 hours, and I know this device doesn't handle longer gameplays. I have tested in past when this device was launched, and with Android 13 also I have tested few games, but I don't feel that much comfortable compared to my other flagship devices. But for casual gamers, you can play games like Battlegrounds Mobile India. You will get FPS between 50 to 60 FPS. Maximum FPS which is being supported on Nothing Phone 1 is 60 FPS only in Battlegrounds Mobile India. So this device can handle heavy games, but I don't recommend for people who are more into gaming. Now moving on to the camera, so we have seen a lot of improvements in the camera segment from the day device was released. And guys, most of the camera improvements are done within 3 to 4 months of the device launch. After that, you won't see much of improvements in the camera segment, and that nothing have already done with Android 12. So there's not much of improvements which you guys will notice with Android 13. The device do clicks good pictures. It always tries to produce natural colors, so I don't have any kind of complaints with the camera segment. And with Android 13, I have seen one drawback in the camera application, that's related to the slow shutter speed. That wasn't the case on Android 12, but with Android 13 it is quite slow. And now let's talk about some of the things which I don't like about Nothing Phone 1, and I think Nothing should start listening to the customers and add features which are necessary. One of the thing is lack of HDR support in Netflix application. So this thing have not been added since day one. And I remember once Carl tweeted about this thing, that if they want to get the support of HDR, they need to add the Netflix application. I mean to say, they need to implement that app into a system, then only will get the support of HDR. And as per Carl, they don't want to add bloatwares. So if they don't want to add bloatwares, they should also avoid adding applications like Nothing X and even weather application. Instead of that, do add the Netflix application if we can get the support of HDR, if the application comes pre-installed on the device. And one application won't make any difference when it comes to the bloatware stuff. And another thing which Nothing needs to improve, that's related to the gaming mode. If you guys remember, Nothing did introduce this Google's gaming dashboard on Nothing Phone 1, which we have seen on Pixel devices also. And initially there was a thing that we were not able to manually add the games, because few games like Battlegrounds Mobile India, which is not on Play Store, and the system was not detecting that game. But now they did add the option to add manual games, but if you add manually, there are some restrictions. You don't get to see the FPS, and not even the gaming floating icon appears. Also, most of the time screen recording fails if I use the gaming dashboard to record the video. I did test out multiple times and I never found the recording in my gallery, or you can say the photos application. And here if you talk about the screen recording on Nothing Phone 1, which is still capped to 720p, there are a lot of devices below 20,000 and even 15,000 which do support 1080p screen recording. I've already updated you guys about the shutter speed. Shutter speed is quite slow on Android 13, and I've also seen random touch issues when it comes to Android 13. So this started to happen with my device. After the update of Android 13, I have performed a factory reset. I had a video recording. If I am able to find that video recording, I'll put it on the screen. You guys can see that. Also, Nothing haven't added any useful feature on Nothing Phone 1, which I told you guys initially. For example, app lock feature, dual app aka parallel app, which is kind of must if you have already given dual SIM feature on your device, because dual SIM feature if given, people will obviously use 2 SIM cards. So it is always required to use dual apps like WhatsApp, Telegram, etc. And guys, it's high time Nothing should introduce these features on Nothing Phone 1. Device was launched long back, and from that day I haven't seen any kind of important feature being added on Nothing Phone 1. I feel Nothing OS is just another custom ROM running on Nothing Phone 1. I have my friends who develop custom ROM for Nothing Phone 1, and those ROMs are way more better compared to Nothing OS. They do come with a lot of customization options. You get tons of features in that. With no doubt, battery backup is also good. So here I'm not complaining about the battery backup. I'm just talking about the custom ROMs which are present for Nothing Phone 1, which gives you more features which you don't get to see on Nothing OS. Hardware and design wise, it's a great phone, but not in terms of software. I can say software is pretty smooth. They have improved a lot in the software department, but it lacks a lot of features which an individual required on a smartphone. No ways to customize AOD styles, and there are a lot of things which we can talk about when it comes to customization. I know some users won't like this video, but I kept my thoughts being a normal user because I have been into tech world, or you can say I've been using a lot of devices, and I feel the requirement of features like dual app, HDR support, app lock feature, customizations for AOD, and many more. I personally don't find OS is up to mark when it comes to features, but still you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and there are no hate towards the brand, so remember this thing. I like the device, design and other stuff, but software lacks a lot of things. So guys, this was a quick look on the things which I like about Nothing Phone 1 after Android 13 update and things which I don't like. How many of you guys agree with this thing? Do let me know in the comment section below. This is your friend Ashok signing out. See you guys in the next video.